series and seeing how they felt about that series was dope. Um, I always feel like that series and that team doesn't get like enough talk about it. I think that series was harder than both Jazz series for sure, and comparable, and probably harder than the Sonic series. Like that was a tough team. It was a team that was familiar with Mike from playing them all that time, and they literally that team. That team never made it to the finals in that form. Like it took Jalen Rose to get to level up before they could go to the finals. But they have been had battles with Michael Jordan on different levels. They also people don't know this, but they also were able to. They never lost a home game to the Bulls that whole season. So like that was literally like one of the dopest things. Like in the regular season or the playoffs, they did not lose a home game. So the series literally they only won the series because of a home court advantage. Um, is a real Indiana was one of those notoriously rough places to play as well, not just Utah as they say in there, but Indiana was always a real tough place to play. Um, Yeah, just watching this, man. I swear, it just you know what it does make you. It does make you kind of sad though because this was supposed to be playoff time, and probably conference finals times, which would have been like crazy. Like this year, I was really, really, really looking forward to the postseason, even more than the regular season, because of like the differences and where players were at, and just like the big changes that we see. So that would have been dope to actually see this playoffs, and hopefully we still do get this playoffs sometime. But like just comparing watching that, watching the show, and then comparing that to like the NBA, like we got some of our void filled, but we need that void filled by playoffs. So hopefully they get that together. Um, what's funny is that they finally touched on this like publicly, but like on forums and stuff like that. At least for the last 5 years, like I've known about the food poisoning story part of it. Like that's like untold secret. Like one of those things where the media was and everybody else was still like pushing it as the flu game, but it's been known that there's been food poisoning. Like everybody knows that the guy that actually poison like food poisoned Jordan, he has made like different stories and stuff like that. So like in the back channels, not like anything mainstream like that, but they have dudes that have said like yeah we poisoned the food. So people talk about it's a hang. It was not a hangover. Michael Jordan like notorious for not getting hangovers. Uh, like I know people like that literally will not get a hangover. Like they can drink anything, mix, it don't matter. They still not gonna get no hangover the next morning. And that ain't got nothing to do with them. It ain't got nothing to do with them like drinking water while they drinking and stuff like that. They just literally just something about their metabolism. They just speed through water. I mean, speed through alcohol. Yeah, so it's dope. It's just dope. Just dope that that's actually coming out. More on that Pacer series. I'm gonna go back to that because the show kind of jumped around, so I just wanted to go back to the Pacer series as well. Um, so Reggie Miller, just him as a whole, like it's hilarious. Like I love that. Like people can get educated to him, but like you got a lot of like fans and people that like basketball but don't really know the intricacies of basketball, so they think, oh, Reggie was just a shooter. Oh, Reggie was overrated, but in all actuality, like Reggie was the leading force on a lot of great offenses. Like his movement really opened up the game for all a lot of players, and his 3 point shooting was legendary. Like he was the Steph Curry light, of course. Not he didn't have the impact of Steph, but like in a way that gravity he's one of the first players that showed that gravity, showed you how being a 3-point shooter, being a long range shooter, and running off these screens and stuff like that at that level and shooting threes would give you gravity for your other players and leave and have players getting left open and stuff like that. Like it was just good for them to see that, and his playoffs. Like he was one of those players that really like, not even in a cliche way, but he really he averaged more points in the playoffs than a lot of his regular season games. And for his career, he's literally averages 2 more points per game in the playoffs on similar shooting. So it's like he's one of those players that raises his game in the playoffs, and people just be like, oh yeah, that's kind of overrated. Nah, when you take a team to the finals, you're the best player. You're the catalyst for the offense. Even though those were some really good teams, and I'm gonna go through those. That the '98 team in particular, those were some pretty balanced teams. It's just funny how he is one of those players that get left out of talks. Like just they don't people don't recognize how good of a player that they were, like that he was in that team. Like they said on the doc, like you see Dale Davis, you see Antonio Davis, like two good bigs with Rick Smith. So like they were actually like a team built to play against like those bigger teams, and they ended up trading Antonio Davis before the 2001 finals, which was like he could have definitely helped them out. But then you had Chris Mullin, Travis Best. See, Travis Best is them type of, he's like a Isaiah Thomas light, like one of those players that just you see him, he coming off the bench, you know what he coming off the bench to do. He coming off the bench to get points, and it's just like in the playoffs, he could like teams could not stop him. Like I was watching especially in his years coming after that, but like he was pretty unstoppable getting to the basket. He couldn't shoot, but like getting to the basket, yeah, he could get to the basket really, really, really well. And you had, of course, the Davis brothers was great rebounders. They was great finishers in the paint as well, and they didn't play like that super rough and tumble game, but they did play like rough and physical, but physical in a way that was smart, not just like just being a bruiser. You had last hurrah Chris Mullin. Chris Mullin was actually pretty good in that playoffs, but he kind of died out toward the end, like in the Bulls series. He kind of died out, like his talent. I mean his game. This was one of his last seasons. Like this was basically Larry Bird's boy, and he was getting he was getting playing time that they probably could have allocated in other ways. Rick Spence, another unforgotten player. Like Rick Spence was really good. Like it's hard to give like a comp for Rick Spence. He's almost in a way like he's like Yao, but like less talented than Yao, but like in the Yao way, like he's 7'4". He was like 7'3", 7'4". Good turnaround, good post game. Shaq has said numerous occasions like how strong he was, even though he looked like he was real thin. He was pretty strong actually. So it was just like it was a pretty loaded team, and they took the Bulls to 7 games behind that great shot making of Reggie Miller in one of those games to win a game winner, and Larry Bird is a coach, and this is a good a crazy what if, but like Larry Bird was an excellent coach, excellent coach, but he was still having back problems. And he also was one of the people that thought like, okay, a team shouldn't like have a leader for too long because they start to wear thin. So he was like, okay, I'm only gonna coach for 3 years. And in those 3 years, I mean, they went 58-24 to the Eastern Conference Finals. They went 50-33, no, 33-17, and that year they lost to the Knicks, and they should have been to the finals in that year too. And then they went to the finals the next year after that and lost in Game 6 to the Lakers. So it was an interesting thing. And he won Coach of the Year, and that was his first year coaching. So like Larry Bird is definitely one of those like savants when it comes to like basketball and his coaching. And I wonder if he would have had like a better back, how long he would have actually stayed. But actually a big what if on as far as everything, like a big what if. Um, Larry Bird keep coaching. Um, Also the shoes, like just a great shoe. Like I have the last shots up on my like if you watch a live video, you can see the last shots on the left of me. One of the best Jordan, like one of the most comfortable Jordans ever. Just a different look. They made patent after the Ferrari. Just a dope shoe. Um, you had Pippen. I think Pippen was wearing up tempo twos, which is a classic shoe in itself. Like just like Jordan and Pippen shoot like Nike around that time. Nothing will ever top that era of shoes around that time for Nike when they was making those type of basketball shoes. Like every shoe was innovative. Um, so the Jazz series. Again, I rewatched the '97 series recently. And it was hilarious how much Bill Walton was like bagging on Karl Malone, and it's like, but he was rightfully so, cause like Karl Malone should have was the MVP of the league, and he should have did more. Like he should have been like actually able to like pull through. If you the MVP, then you gotta pull through and you gotta win. Like you gotta get over the hump. Like all these players that played against Michael and were MVPs in his era, you gotta get like one of them should beat him. Yeah, so just interesting. Also, John Stockton get a lot of shit because he was unathletic. He wasn't unathletic. He wasn't as athletic as others, but like he was a really tough player, good player. Um, I honestly think he was if he played on a different team, like let's say we give him Hakeem, he's the point guard for the Rockets. I actually think he would have had to. He would have been perfect for those teams and would have won two championships. If his like when you're a point guard, you kind of be holding to that big, and you need that big to like close you out in games or be like a little bit better. And his big was soft, like not soft, but like his big was a choker, and that hurt him. You can even see like the highlight that they showed of him was him winning this series against the Rockets, like game winner against the Rockets. That was an incredible shot too. Something else I didn't know was how close Jordan was to his like bodyguards. Just like how like I mean he spent a lot of time around them, so it makes sense. But like he just revered his bodyguards, and he spent a lot of time with them. Uh, I knew about Kerr's father getting shot, but just seeing that again and just seeing, I know him and Mike would probably like if they could actually talk about it, they would probably bond over it. But it's just crazy. Like his father was just over in the like Middle Eastern area, like not Middle East, but Middle Eastern area, like Eastern Europe, and his father was shot down over there, and it was just like he was in a bad political climate, but it's just tough to see like stuff like that happen. Another thing was Robin. Robin is crazy. Robin left them again. He snuck past, snuck past the video, but he left to go film a WCW bit, which is even more hilarious because he played against in the series that he left. He was playing against the Jazz, and he actually had a bit with Karl Malone and wrestling as well. So yeah, that was funny. And just seeing him sneak past me like that would never play today. Like he would have to go talk to the media after you get fined for missing a practice. And coaches would be like, "No, I'm not going. You're not going to play if you miss a practice." Like that brings me to my next point and my last point. I'm probably gonna touch on this live unless somebody else get on with me. Uh, Phil Jackson was the only, I believe, was the only coach that could have actually like got them to win all these finals. Like he was the perfect coach. He was able to like manage all these different crazy personalities and these different crazy people. Like if it wasn't I don't think they would have won. And that just show you how important it is to have that. Like people think like coaches is important, but like they're not as important. They're even more important in certain different ways. Like it's ridiculous how important the head coach would have been in that situation. Like he was able to, he just pushed all the right buttons. Like him not calling the timeout when Michael Jordan is bringing the ball up the court. Um, Him being able to get to Michael Jordan and be like, "Hey, you see the pass is open, make the pass, like make the best play." Him just talking, letting Rodman be Rodman. Him talking to Scotty and just being a leader to Scotty as well. Him just having the practices like the last practice where they all had to write like their thoughts about the season on a piece of paper, poems and everything, and he burned them like it was over with. Like he was like that Zen master stuff is real. Like even though he couldn't do it as a general manager, and I think he's actually going. He takes a hit. Uh, did he take a hit for being a general manager there? But like he was truly, truly, truly important to the Bulls. Like I don't think they could have won as many championships without. Like it was a perfect collection of things, and that's why if you that's your one argument when you talking about Brian. Like you like if you want to say Brian is the GOAT, I think that's the argument. Is just that Jordan had a more perfect he had more perfect circumstances, like the coach and the player that was with him. So yeah, like that's pretty much it. That's just my immediate reaction to the Last Dance episodes 9 and 10. It's a great series. I love to get on and talk to somebody else, like talk to a bunch of people and brainstorm more about it. We don't have much live sports in a way. If the NBA is gonna come back, it's probably gonna come back in like July, August. So um, this was dope. Just hearing about this and talking about it and everything. And if you watching this or if you watching this in the future, hit the like, hit the subscribe and comment. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think of the Last Dance and everything. I'm out.